Hi guys, welcome back. If you are new here, click the subscribe button. Also, if you are new here, hi, hello, my name is Kayla, and today I'm going to be doing a little postpartum and baby Q&A and talking about a few aspects of my birth. I asked you guys over on my Instagram before I deactivated it. Yes, I deactivated my Instagram account, but I asked you guys over there right as soon as I gave birth, if you guys had any questions, and you guys sent some in. So that is where I'm going to be getting these questions from. So let's get into it. So yes, I did deactivate my Instagram account. That is why you can no longer find it. All of that type of stuff. So just letting you know. But yeah, that is where all of these questions are coming from. So the first question is, how did you manage to go unmedicated? So the truth about it is, I didn't have a choice. I wanted to go unmedicated. Wanted that for years. And I finally decided once I got pregnant with this baby that that is 100% what I'm going to do. And this entire time I had that planned out until it came to my actual birth. I had actually been in labor for 3 weeks. So that's a long time to be in labor, and I was just kind of done with it. I just wanted to kind of have my body be relaxed for the first time in 3 weeks. But I decided to keep going with it. I have a few little tips for going unmedicated. They didn't really necessarily work for me all the way through. The number one is water. Use water to your advantage. Whether you have a water labor, a water birth, it is called the midwife's epidural, and I highly, 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 highly recommend that shit. Water. Amazing. It really, really worked in the beginning parts of my labor. I actually had it planned out to where that's where I was going to have most of my labor at, but it didn't end up happening that way. And by the time that I wanted the epidural, I was 9 centimeters dilated. So yeah, I had a precipitous, I believe that's what they call it, precipitous labor, which is where you go really, really, really fast. I've gotten a lot of comments saying oh, lucky you, I was in labor, I wasn't dilating, I was blah 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 for 48 hours. I know it sounds good in theory to go really, really, really fast. It's not. It is not fun whatsoever to go really, really, really fast. It doesn't give your body time to slowly get up there. It goes 1 to 1,000 really fast. And it's not fun. It is very, very, very painful, unbearably painful. I believe if my body would have kind of just slowly did it, it wouldn't have been so bad and so traumatic for me. The second question is, how has the transition been from 2 to 3? The transition has been, oh my God, amazing. If you are pregnant with your third, don't let people freak you out. I had so many people freak me out while I was pregnant, saying that 2 to 3 was their worst transition and blah, 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 blah. Let me tell you, 2 to 3 has been my easiest transition to date. And my second baby, my son, is very, very, very clingy. He is a mommy's boy, and I was really worried about it, but it has been literally the smoothest transition of any of my kids. I swear to God, I don't know how I got so lucky, but I had so many people comment about this when I was pregnant, saying oh, you're gonna have a hard time. If you are pregnant with your third, don't let people freak you out. I'm sure that it's hard for some people, but it's not hard for all. I'm a stay-at-home mom. I've been a stay-at-home mom. My husband works 12 plus hours a day. So I am home with 2 kids anyway. So I'm kind of outnumbered anyway. And then you add a third onto it. It's not that bad, especially if you wear your baby. Baby wearing has saved my life. There are like so many times where I'm baby wearing while I'm putting the kids in bed or while I'm getting dinner ready. It has been my easiest transition to date. My hardest transition was actually from 1 to 2. Victoria had a very, very, very hard time adjusting to my son. So that was my hardest transition, and this has been my easiest. And I'm so, so, so grateful that it's been amazing, because the transition from my daughter to having 2 was very, very, very rough. I had postpartum depression. I also think that that's made it a lot better, knowing that like I don't have that right now. I did have some baby blues in the very beginning, but yeah. Also onto that, another person actually asked if I've had like postpartum depression or baby blues or anything like that, and I did have baby blues, I believe starting at about day 4 or 5, and that lasted up until I was about, I think it was just before 3 weeks postpartum, so I think it was like 2.5 weeks probably. But I have felt amazing mentally ever since then, and I wasn't gonna cry in this, but I am just so grateful that I don't have postpartum depression or postpartum anxiety this time around. With my first, I had postpartum anxiety. With my second, I had postpartum depression. I truthfully would not be alive if it wasn't for medication during that one. So overall, mentally, I am doing so, so, so much better than any of my postpartums, which is amazing. If you are going through postpartum depression or postpartum anxiety, please reach out to your doctor. Please reach out to someone and ask for help. Talk to someone, talk to a family member that you trust, talk to your partner. My husband, he was the best support when I was going through my postpartum depression. Like, he's amazing. But reach out to someone, because I truthfully don't think I would be alive if I didn't. The next question is, how did the kids adjust to little sister? They are adjusting so, so, so well. Elliot and Victoria, I was really shocked about Victoria. She has been begging me for a sister and for a baby for literally since her brother came out of me. So, they both had a really hard time the first week, just kind of like adjusting. I think they were kind of both adjusting to the fact that they didn't have like as much attention, but I also think that having my husband home that first week was a game changer. He was home for the first week, which has never happened with any of our kids. He doesn't get paid paternity leave, so I'm not like, come on, US. Get up there. Dads deserve it. But he got to stay home for the first week, and I think that really helped because he took care of the big kids while I was recovering and working through breastfeeding and bonding with our new baby. And it really, really, really helped because the big kids had the attention from him mostly while I could focus on the baby. And that was so nice. Being a stay-at-home mom and never having someone be here for the first week, it was such a game changer. But the kids have adjusted so, so, so well. Even Elliot, which is just amazing. She is now 1 month old. So it's now been 1 month, and Elliot asked to see her every single day, asked to like hold her, which is definitely new. He actually loves holding her now. Victoria asked to hold her literally 24/7. So just like, it's been such a good adjustment. Like, I can't even like stress that enough, how good it's been. How long did hubby have off for help? He actually he took the 4th through the 11th off of July. I went into labor on the 4th and had her on the 5th, and he was home until the 11th. So that was amazing, and that is how long he had off. But he had to take his vacation days for that because the US kind of sucks. How long was this pregnancy? So I've had a lot of people being like, wait a second, how far along were you when you gave birth? I was 37 weeks and 6 days when I gave birth to her. I was 37 weeks and 5 days when I went into labor. So do with that what you will. But I had my first baby at 37 weeks and 6 days and my second baby at 38 weeks and 3 days. Also, it has been proven that girls' lungs develop faster than boys. So, you know, there's that. So 37 weeks and 6 days for both of my girls. How are you dealing with postpartum? I am dealing so much better. This postpartum has been my hardest and easiest. I don't know how to explain it. I hemorrhaged after birth. If you guys didn't know, I actually did a story time about my birth and I posted that last week. That's a lot. But I posted that last week, and I hemorrhaged after my birth, which is a very big part of my trauma for me. And so I was dealing with the blood loss for quite a while after birth. When I left the hospital, I was actually anemic because of how much blood I lost. So I had to start taking iron supplement. And then I believe on day 4 postpartum, I had extreme postpartum contractions. This entire time I've had like extreme postpartum contractions until about 2 weeks postpartum, I think. And they were horrendous, like horrendous. And they get worse with every single pregnancy. But anyway, on day 4, I had contractions that put me in tears. I was in tears from these contractions, and my husband's like, call your doctor. So I called my doctor that night and I was like, hey, I just want to let you know that like I'm having really horrible contractions that are putting me in tears. Like, these are worse than they have ever been this entire time. And she says, as long as you're not bleeding anymore, and as long as you are, as long as you don't have any clots, like big clots that come out, then you are completely fine. The next morning I had woken up and I passed a clot the size of a lemon. It was gigantic. I looked in the toilet. It was very, very big. The biggest clot I have ever passed in my entire life. And that, just like seeing that freaked me the fuck out. Called my doctor back and I was like, hey, I just lost a clot the size of a lemon. And they were like, okay, well, as long as you're not having any more, then you're fine. So there's that. But ever since that day, my recovery has been amazing. I also had another question. Did you tear? I did not. This is my first labor and birth. I didn't tear. I didn't tear at all. With my other 2 kids, I tore internally. I could have sworn, this is my first unmedicated birth, and I could have sworn that I tore because I felt everything. I also had a hemorrhoid pop out. This is a hemorrhoid that I've had during my entire pregnancy, and it is big. My husband was like, oh my God, I couldn't believe how big it was. Like, yeah, now you know why my ass hurts all the time. So yeah, I did not tear at all, which is just like shocking to me. Absolutely shocking to me. When I got to that point, like, it was very hard to not push. It was very hard to make it go like easy. If you guys didn't know and you've never given birth or you've never had a natural birth before, when you get to the point of the ring of fire, which is when the baby's head is right there, You have to go very, very slow and not push out very fast because you can tear very easily. And so my midwives are amazing, and during every single one of my births, they do like a perineal massage during that point, which makes it easier and a lot harder to tear. So definitely think that that's why I didn't tear, but also I'm wondering if it had something to do with me not having an epidural this time. So what ages are your kids? This one's gonna make me sad. My oldest is turning 5. By the time this video is going up, she will be turning 5 in just a few days. She will be turning 5. So my oldest is 5. My middle child is 2 years and 6 months. So he's exactly 2.5. And my youngest, she is 1 month old. By the time you guys are watching this, she will be 1.5 months. So freaking crazy. I can't believe I'm a mom of 3. It just like baffles me. I'm almost 25. I know a lot of people are like, you're so young, you look so young. I very much have a baby face. My face has not changed since I was prepubescent. Not even kidding. I wish I was. I did not have a glow up during puberty, so there's that. But I'm almost 25 and I have 3 kids, which is just baffling to me. Like, I don't know how this happened, where it happened, how. I just feel like the past 5 years have just all been kind of like a blur. And another person like asked me how my postpartum is going. And I feel so good knowing that I never have to be pregnant again. My husband's vasectomy is this month. Thank the Lord. And I never have to be pregnant again. So now for the rest of my childbearing years, I don't have to be pregnant anymore, and I can just focus on healing my body. My body has gone through so much in the past 5 years. I have diastasis recti from carrying all 3 of my children. If you guys don't know what that is, it is the splitting of your core muscles in your stomach. It's very, very, very common after carrying children. So I am going to be working with a physical therapist for that. I am also, after I'm done breastfeeding, I am getting a reduction. I'm so freaking happy. It causes a lot of back pain and a lot of pain in general. It's not fun having these things, I promise you. But yeah, now I can just like focus on my 3 kids that are here and focus on healing my body, healing my mental state, healing it all, because the past 5 years has been crazy. I've literally put my life on the line 3 times. So with that being said, I'm just so happy to never go through that again. I can't find the question, but another person asked like how long my labor was. So I actually started having contractions at 8 p.m. and gave birth at 2:56 in the morning. So if you do the math, 6 hours from start to finish. But by the time I was at the hospital, it was, I believe, 4 hours. Yeah, 4 hours. So my labor from the time I got to the hospital to the time that I delivered was 4 hours. And mind you, 3 of those hours I was stuck at 6 centimeters. So yay me. Yeah, it went really, really fast. So there's that. How long were you in the hospital for? So we were only in the hospital for just over 24 hours. I believe it was like 18 or so hours. Because I gave birth in the middle of the night, we had to wait until the next morning to leave, and I believe we left right around noon. Maybe it was just before noon, something along those lines. And then we got home around 1 or 2. We also stopped off and had Braden's grandma meet Rayleigh, which was amazing. So she got to meet her, and it was a really, really good time. What is the best advice you have for a first-time mom? The best advice that I have is to not listen to a damn person. You are the mother, you know best. Don't listen to anyone else. Don't listen to their critiques. Don't listen to the hate. Don't listen to it. I did. I listened to it when I was a first-time mom, and it made me very, very unhappy because I had all of these little voices in my head telling me what to do and that I was doing things wrong and that I needed to do it this way and all of the things. Don't listen to it. You are literally the mother for a reason. I had so many people tell me not to co-sleep, which it's so weird. We are literally one of the only countries to discourage co-sleeping. And the stats speak for themselves. I co-slept with my first baby for 15 months. 15 months, and I don't regret a damn thing. There are so many ways to safely co-sleep, and it is actually maternal instinct to safely co-sleep. Like, it is literally an instinctual thing. I had no idea that the C shape that they talk about in co-sleeping is a thing until I was done co-sleeping. I realized that it was instinctual because I was doing it the entire time. So that's my advice, is don't listen to anyone about anything. A lot of people are going to tell you to do it one way or that you're doing something wrong, and I just have to say, don't listen to it. Don't listen to it at all. Another question was, do I prefer to have an epidural or go unmedicated? And they were wondering, like, if they should go unmedicated. I cannot tell you what to do. It is your body, your choice. However, me personally, if I had to do it all over again, I would choose the epidural. I had no idea that my labor would go so fast. I had no idea that it would be so traumatic. I had no idea, and I just believe all of my trauma would have been non-existent if I had just done the epidural. And it's sad because I never hear anyone talk about the traumatic births of a natural birth, or the traumatic points of their natural birth, or the oh my god, it was so beautiful and magical and like everyone should do it. For me personally, I would never do it again. So everyone should have that say over their body, whether they want to go unmedicated or have an epidural. But for me personally, if I had to do it all over again, I would 1000% go in there, immediately tell them that I want the epidural. So that's what I would have done. The last question, do you want more kids? Absolutely not. I never want any more kids. 3 is good. 3 is good. 3 is really, really good. The thought of going through another pregnancy just makes me want to vomit. I actually had a dream when I was pregnant that I actually got pregnant while I was pregnant. I know that that's like not a thing. I know that. But I had a dream while I was like 7 months pregnant that I had actually gotten pregnant while I was still pregnant. And I sobbed. That's exactly what my response would be if I got pregnant again. I would sob. I would not want that to happen. So yeah, we are not having any more babies. The baby train is done. So happy to never be pregnant again. I truthfully think God made my pregnancy the way that he did because of how I am. I get baby fever a lot, and with my first baby, like, her pregnancy was magical. Her pregnancy was like picture perfect. I had no heartburn, no horrible things happen. I had no hospital admissions. I had no heart problems. And during my third pregnancy, I had 6 hospital admissions, 8 sicknesses, including the C word. I had heart problems. I had to see a cardiologist. Like, all of these things happened during this pregnancy that was like, absolutely not. I never want to go through that again. And I know a lot of people have told me since saying that, like, oh, you'll change your mind. Stop telling people that, first of all. When we make up our minds about how many kids we have, by the way, I have never truly known what people know, like, when they say you'll know when you're done, because now I feel that you just know when you're done. If you feel even a little bit of slightest inkling that you're not done, you're not done. And I'm done. 1010% done. So anyway, that concludes the entire Q&A. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye, guys.